Hello, everyone, and welcome to Check It Out, the live show about, I'm off to a rolling start today, the show about what's happening at the Bethel Park Public Library. I'm Mary Mullen.
And I'm Elaine Volpe.
And Elaine and I are here today to tell everyone about what's happening in the library during the month of May. One thing I think we can be sure of for May is we're going to have lots of May flowers.
That's for sure. Weren't they out working in the garden today?
Yes, they were.
I saw Erin come in with her tennis shoes and her,
Yes, yeah, we should talk about that a little bit. We are getting a little, we're fancying up, so to speak.
Courtyard.
Our courtyard. Yes. For those of you who are familiar with the library, and you come in the back entrance down the ramp, and I think most everyone knows that you come down the ramp and there's a sort of a patio area. We have new tables, right? And I think we're going to have...
The umbrellas should be up soon.
We have umbrellas, and we're going to get some new plants, and it'll be a lovely place for when we have some nice, warm summer weather.
Absolutely.
To sit outside underneath the umbrella, get a good book, and just enjoy. So as you're coming into the library on a regular basis, checks the progress, see what's going on. So
yeah, there should be sprouting and blooming pretty soon.
I was thinking we were going to be having May flowers because we have had more than our share of April showers. We have been deluged, have we not? So hopefully May will bring us lots of warm, sunny days. And as we get into May, then we can start talking about summer reading, right?
That's right. And today I'm going to give a sneak peek to all the viewers out there.
Okay, Miss Elaine,
should I do that now?
Do that right now. What's happening for summer reading
as
this
you
year?
know, every year summer reading has a different theme. This year's theme is One World, Many Stories. So we're tying a lot of multicultural themes into that. We're going to be exploring the globe and exploring our own United States and our own area right here with a lot of different programs. A slew of programs, once again, from birth all the way up to high school. So I'm just going to talk about some of those programs, but first I want to talk about the Kickoff Carnival. This is fairly new. We did it last year, and it was such a big success that we wanted to bring it back again. We have ELF Entertainment coming down from Gibsonia. They help us out with some carnival games and prizes, and they also bring the ever-popular inflatables.
Oh, inflatables.
You've seen those big jumpy houses,
yes,
those big
I
bounce-a-thon type things. Okay, we're not getting a jumpy house. We are getting a safari train.
A safari train.
Big safari train. So this will be extra popular with the little ones, although it says ages up to 10. So they can crawl through and have fun in a safari train. And then for the older kids and the tweens and teens out there, they are bringing in an inflatable skee ball. And I love skee ball. I don't go so much to Chuck E. Cheese anymore. But even Dave & Buster's and some other arcades around here have skee ball.
And that's my very favorite. Where you roll?
You put your quarter in, you get 7 balls, and you're rolling the ball up, and you're trying to get the highest amount. There's a big jackpot in the middle, usually, or like 1,000. Yes, so we have an inflatable skee ball that the older kids can try out. Fun. In addition to the inflatables and the carnival games and prizes, we're going to have Mickey the Clown here this year. She's going to do some wonderful face painting, and she's also bringing her friend who does balloon art. We'll make animals and other creations out of balloons. So we have them coming. We will also have some food booths this year, some ethnic food booths, since the theme is, one world, many stories. We're going to have Brewster's here because America's favorite treat is always ice cream, of course, right? So Brewster's will be here. What else am I forgetting? There's going to be music and fun. Scholastic Book Fair will be going on at the same time. And that's your opportunity, guys, to come out for a night of fun, also to register for summer reading. We will have the computers on and everything up and running. We'll have the packets ready to go. So you can use this opportunity to sign up for summer reading, get your packet right on the spot, and start your
will the book fair be going that night, too? Oh, my goodness.
We're going to have that up.
That sounds
and all proceeds from the Scholastic Book Fair directly support summer reading. It will help pay for the prizes and such that we have in our library bookstore.
And what's the date for this event?
The date for this event is Saturday, June 11th. Good question, Mary. Or is it Saturday, June 12th? Let me check.
No, it's the 11th.
Saturday, June 11th, from 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
Yes. So that's our big kickoff event, and then summer reading will start right after that. It's going to run the same as always, where students who are reading on their own, usually kindergarten, first grade and up, will keep track of the time that they spend reading. So for every hour that they read, they will earn a book buck, which is like a library dollar. It acts as real cash, but you can only spend it in our library store. So the more you read, the more book bucks you will earn, and then the more prizes you can buy. And we have a lot of cool prizes. Some that coordinate with the theme, like we have Earth bouncy balls and globe inflatable beach balls. little mini cameras and things like that. And then some things that's just, you know, random and can be enjoyed, you know, anytime. We always have candy, but everything varies. So you can buy something for $1 or you can save up and buy a bigger item for $20. But that's kind of how the library store works. Now, if you're younger and you're not reading on your own yet, that's okay. You're going to keep track of the number of books that are read to you. So every time a parent and child read 10 books together, they will get a book buck. So they still get to shop too. It just runs a little bit differently. Okay. So that's how summer reading works, and we're very excited to get it started. That's the reading program, but on top of that, we have some classes or some additional programming. And like I said, it ties in with the theme. We're doing a lot of multicultural things. Do you know what this is called, Mary? I just told you before the show. Let's test your memory. Bilboquet. It's French.
It's French.
And do you know how it works, Mary?
I know you have to get the ball inside the cup. Am I correct?
And it's more difficult than one might think.
Yes.
But this originated in France, as I just mentioned, and it's a fun,
very good, Miss Elaine.
That was only, 10 tries? Very similar to a kendama, too, that originated in Japan. I don't have a kendama to show, but I have a variation of a kendama that we're going to be making in the Fundama class this summer. Making toys out of everyday objects that you already have at home, okay? So the object of this is just like the Bilboquet. You're getting a ball into... Instead of just one cup, we have different cups here.
Okay.
And what you could do, I didn't number it before the show, but you could put numbers in here. So you can call out going for cup number 3. Right? If you get in for cup number 3, then you earn so many points. If you don't, then it's the next player's turn. Or there's many different variations. You can play any way you want. But what do you think this was made out of, Mary?
Well, it looks
this
like
is harder for me to show.
Very nice paper cups.
We use Dixie cups,
little Dixie
masking
cups.
tape, and string. That is the only 3
think
materials we needed to make this. And I brought it home and tested it on my kids who are older. I have a 3rd grader and a 5th grader, and they loved it.
They had fun
with it. They played with it. Yeah, like I said, there's different things that you can do with it. The ball at the end is just a ball of masking tape. That's all it is, folks. So very easy to make and very fun. That's our Fundama class. It's going to be taught by Miss Lynn, and that is going to be sometime in, that is in June, on June 23rd. Okay, so that's just one of the many fun classes that we're offering this summer.
That Miss Lynn, she has so many creative, creative ideas.
So we promise you no boredom this summer. You will not be bored. We will teach you how to make things that will keep you busy.
That's great because I think it's important for people, actually people of all ages, to get their hands on things and make something, be creative and have a lot of fun. And you save a lot of money when you do it yourself.
Absolutely.
And use what you've got around the house.
Yeah, so. Kendamas, you can find them in stores around here. You can purchase them online, but they're not cheap. We're going to teach you how to make a cheap version that works just as good. Okay. And then for our teens and tweens, we have a separate, this flyer, by the way, will be available very soon. It's in the making. And we'll also send it home to the schools. As always, it'll be available at the daycare centers, as well as upstairs in the children's department and online. But we always do a separate one for teens, and this is the teen flyer. We have about 10 programs lined up for them so far, one of which is called Fact or Fiction. Do you remember when I quizzed you on the Beat the Parents?
Yes.
And you did pretty well. I think you answered 3 out of 3 correctly, I believe.
Okay, all right.
Well, this is a similar game. It's called Fact or Fiction.
Okay.
And again, this is going to be for teens, and they are going to work in teams, and they're going to have to decipher or determine whether or not a question is true or false. But they're going to be given time to research. There's kind of some research involved because it's going to be in the library. They will have time to go and find the answer, prove the answer. But let's just see how you do, shall we?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Question number 1. True or false? A lead pencil actually has no lead in it. Instead, it's made of wood surrounding a mixture of mainly clay and graphite.
I will say that is true.
That is true. Very good. You're 1 for 1. Let's keep going.
Okay.
More than 1,000 species of carnivorous plants have been discovered.
I'm going to say that's a true fact, but a little on the scary side.
It's actually false, Mary. Only 670 have been discovered, and some are already extinct.
670 is still a very large number of plants that could devour us. I'm not sure.
Kind of scary. You're right. Okay. Let's give you one more. Though Vincent van Gogh's paintings sell for record-breaking amounts now, he only sold 1 painting during his lifetime. True or false?
Ooh, that is a tricky question.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
And again, as you do the research, kids will be learning
I'm going to say
some interesting facts that they maybe never.
I'm going to say that's false.
That's actually true.
No.
Hard to believe, though. Van Gogh only sold one painting in his lifetime.
Only one. Do we know which painting he sold? Does it tell us?
No, they would have to find that out when they're researching in the library.
All right. Well, that could be a challenge.
So you're learning while having fun.
That could be a challenge for all of our viewers. Anybody come up with the name of the one painting, the single painting that Vincent van Gogh was able to sell during his lifetime? How discouraging for an artist, right?
Yeah, because it wasn't until after his death that he became so
well known. And of course, I know Van Gogh struggled with depression a good deal of his life, and that's
why.
It's a very understandable situation to be an artist and not have anyone want to buy your paintings. So
yes, very interesting. You will learn a lot.
This one.
So fact or fiction for guys and gals, a lot of fun. Round up your friends. We'll form some teams and we'll have fun with that.
All right, that will give me a project to work on then. I'm going to challenge all our viewers, but next month I'll bring the answer. Hopefully, I will find the answer to the question of Van Gogh's
Very good.
painting.
Well, I should too. So that would be a race. Who can find it first?
Okay.
Okay.
Right, very good.
You're on.
Okay.
And do you remember when Steel City Hoop Union came?
I do. We hula hooped and had fun.
And I just had to have them back. So remember how fearful, but I was very nervous because I never my whole life hula hoop, and I didn't think I would be able to. But we discovered that the size of the hoop really does make a difference.
Yes, it does.
So Steel City Hoop Union brought bigger hoops with them, and we were hooping away after that.
We were.
I got the hang of it, and you all will too. This is another team program. I thought it'd be fun for the teens to try this. You don't need to bring your own hoop. As I said, they will bring hoops for you. And we'll just hoop up some fun, have a good old time. Once you get the hang of it, remember they started teaching us how to walk in a circle and do different things, and then we learned all sorts of cool tricks.
We did.
So I'm very excited for them to come back. They are coming on.
Yeah, when are they coming?
Yes, you got to free up your calendar too, Mary. They will be here on Wednesday, June 29th at 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m.
If it's nice, we might go outside. If not, it'll probably be in the program room or council chambers.
Council chambers. But that was very true. If you got the right size hoop,
it wasn't a problem.
It was not a problem.
Starting to move with it was a problem.
That was hard.
I could stand still though, and I could hoop. So I was just proud that I accomplished that.
You'll get a chance to do it again, and you'll learn some new skills and some new tricks.
That's right.
It's great exercise.
I would encourage guys and gals. Typically you might think, hula hooping, that's a girl thing. Guys do it too. They do where do they meet? They meet a couple different spots, but do you remember where they said they met over at Steel City Hoop Union?
Oh, I know they meet up at Highland Park at the
Highland Park.
The Union Project.
Yes. And they said that they have guys that come out too and dads that bring their kids. So
it's great exercise because
it is.
I
worked up a sweat.
We worked very hard that day, so
we definitely did.
So that might be a great way of getting people in. You need a little exercise. Come on in and practice your hula hooping.
Absolutely. It won't be as hot. We're holding it in the evening, so hopefully the sun will be going down a little bit by then, so it won't be that hot if we are outside. So we have a lot of stuff lined up for the teens too. And while we're talking about teens, I just want to talk about their summer reading club because it does work a little bit differently. You're not going to earn the book bucks. You don't get to shop in the store, but you do get to enter for weekly raffles. And we have some really nice gift cards that we're giving away as always. And you'll get a ticket for every book that you read. You can put those tickets in for whatever prize we're giving away that week, or you can save your tickets and enter a different week. So we'll have $25 maybe one week to Starbucks, but then the next week it's going to be Best Buy. So you can choose which raffle you want to enter. So that's how the Teen Summer Reading Club works. More information will follow. We'll be going out to the schools soon to talk about it in the schools. Again, our flyers will be going home, and information will be online, of course. But we have the kickoff carnival. We always like to celebrate at the end too, celebrate everybody's reading efforts and a job well done. So we are all, again, having the swim party at the Y. And we're also having a bowling party over at AMF Lanes. So two things to
look forward to.
Well, a lot of things to look forward to. Two things to look forward to in the end. We'll do both of those in August.
Well, it looks like you're going to have a great summer here at the
library. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
You're going to do a lot of fun things.
Yes.
All right.
As always.
Okay.
So how about on your side, Mary?
On our side, of course, I'll just mention that there will be adult summer reading, which I believe will start on Monday, June the 13th. And I'll have a little bit more information about that next month. I don't know whether we're going to be doing the same format or not. I think we are. But summer reading's not just for kids; it's also for
that's right,
also for adults. So And in addition to adult summer reading, we have a lot of fun programs coming up in May. I just want to mention very briefly again, first weekend in May is our book sale and annual gala. Okay,
yes.
May 6th, 7th, and 8th. May the 6th is our gala event. We're going to have a night at the races, right?
Night at the races,
Night at the races. This is an important library fundraiser. Tickets are $25 a piece, and that will give you the opportunity to have fun at our night at the races and also get a sneak preview of the book sale. And then, of course, the regular days for our book sale will be Saturday, May the 7th, and Sunday, May the 8th. And, of course, May the 8th will be bag day, right? $5.
Right. Fill up your bag.
You
That's
get to fill up a bag and you haul it all away as much as you can carry. So, in addition to the book sale and gala event, we have a lot of other things happening, including our Wise Walk program, which we've been running a couple years here at the library. And the Wise Walk program is for adults 50 plus. Although I like to always remind people, if you, for instance, have a family member who would like to walk with you, it's a younger family member, bring them along with you. I tell grandparents who are watching their grandchildren,
put them in a stroller.
Put them in the stroller and come and don't let that keep you away. Come and join us. We'll be walking again Thursday mornings at 9:30 in South Park. We meet at the Children's Playground parking lot. And we walk up Corrigan Drive. And sometimes we have other things. We'll be doing, again, one of the most popular Thursdays of our Wise Walk is our nature walk with South Park naturalist John Doyle. And he takes us off into the woods, and we learn so much about South Park. So, and you can join the Wise Walk program at any time. You don't have to walk with us the full 10 weeks. So come on out. Meet us at the South Park Children's Playground parking lot, 9:30 Thursday mornings. And we're going to hope for no more rain.
No more rain.
No more rain, because I have to make a decision on Thursday mornings. Are we walking inside or are we walking outside? So that gets a lot of stress. So no more rain. No more rain at all. We have a program on Saturday, May 14th, called Garden Gate, which is New Voices, Old Songs. And Garden Gate is actually the name of a musical group. It's two women, Ellen Gozian and Penny Anderson. And they're going to be here to present a program of traditional American folk songs, ballads, love songs, and gospel music.
That's great.
I remember when I'm dating myself for sure, but I remember in the 60s, folk songs were really popular, and Peter, Paul, and Mary. Mm-hmm. And I think there's been kind of a revival of interest in that kind of music, and a lot of movies have presented some of the folk songs. Mm-hmm. So they will be here on Saturday, May 14th at 1 o'clock, Garden Gate, New Voices, Old Songs. Our art class demonstrations will be starting up again, and this is presented to us by South Arts Pittsburgh. And these art class demonstrations will be running May and June. The first one is Thursday, May 19th at 6 p.m., and that's presented by John Del Monte. And he's going to be doing a drawing demonstration. And we'll have other classes, so you can check back at the library for a schedule of other art class demonstrations. Story time for adults is on May 18th. That's a Wednesday. Towards the end of May, we're going to have a plant swap. I'm thinking I would love to swap some of my dead plants for some good ones, but I don't think that's going to work too well with the Tree Haven Garden Club, who will be here on Sunday, May 22nd. They'll be setting up at 12:30, and the plant swap will begin at 1 o'clock. And the Garden Club members will also be here to answer your questions. And my question is going to be, how do we get the grass to stop growing? You know, normally it's the other way around. Yes. This year I think I could get lost in my backyard at this point. But on Sunday, May 22nd, plant swap with the Tree Haven Garden Club. And on Tuesday, May 24th, we're going to have another Lunch and Learn, and this one is Eat Your Way to Health. And this is presented by the Farm to Table organization. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, Farm to Table is a local organization that promotes shopping locally and eating healthily. And Alyssa Lombardo will be here to help us navigate the aisles of the supermarket. Which, of course, I was listening to a book on CD which was talking about the food industry, and if I remember correctly, I think they said that the average grocery store has 20,000 items in it.
Wow.
I find that hard to believe, but maybe not. There's a lot of stuff in the grocery store.
There really is.
It really is. Just think about buying toothpaste in of itself, what choices you have to
make.
There
you go, exactly. Yes. There is just so many choices. You have your list. This happens to me I do my big weekly grocery shopping usually on a Saturday and a Sunday, and I might have a list of 30 things. And I walk out with like 130 things. And I think I remember reading an article once how they have it set up and they tempt you with certain things, and of course they have the things at the end of the aisles.
Right.
And it really is, a class like this I think would be so beneficial, especially, not only, so you're bringing home a lot of stuff that you don't need, a lot of healthy stuff. You grab that bag of chips, you grab the bag of cookies. I always tell myself, oh, it's a treat for the kids' lunches, but we end up eating them at night, and I end up eating them when I shouldn't be. But not only that, but also money saving. I spend so much more at the grocery store than I really need to be spending on a weekly basis.
No, I think we're all.
I think I'll be attending this class.
But again, this is Eat Your Way to Health. It will be a program to give you information about all the, when you have to make a decision. You're in the grocery store, as Miss Elaine said, with your list. Are you confused? Yes, I think we all are confused. And I think she's also going to talk about reading labels on food, because I think if you become a label reader, and I have become a label reader, sometimes you turn the can around or you turn the box around
right back,
and you look to think, oh my gosh, what is this? There's this long list of things, none of which we can pronounce, and you don't know what it is. So join us on Tuesday, May 24th. And that's at noontime, and it's a lunch and learn. So you bring your lunch, and we'll put out some beverages, and I've got to come up with a healthy dessert. I guess I
say it better be healthy.
I better be healthy.
But it better be healthy.
Okay, some very light and healthy dessert. So come and join us on that day. So that's what's happening at the library during May, and of course we have all of our regular programs. And as always, if you want more information about what's happening at the library, you can
give us a call.
You can click on our website.
Or better yet, come on in and visit us in person.
Okay. Yes. And before we leave, I want everyone to stay tuned, because Check It Out's going on location again. We are, and I brought along my little teapot, because we are going to be visiting Bella's House of Teas. And I know you've been to Bella's, right?
I have. It's such a treasure.
And it is a wonderful experience. I've been to Bella's several times. It's right up from the library on South Park Road. And I'm sometimes surprised by the number of people who do not know that we have a lovely and elegant tea room right here in Bethel Park. And we also have a very lovely and elegant hostess, and that is Bella. So stay tuned. We're going to be visiting and chatting with Bella at Bella's House of Teas. We'll see you next month.
See you then.
There comes a time in life when you need government information,
and you just don't know which way to turn.
Well, there's a place you can go to put an end to your frustration.
It's a site that everyone should learn.
USA.gov. Find your Social Security benefits online.
USA.gov.
Our list of jobs will put you on cloud nine.
USA.gov.
Shop auctions for a used minivan anytime.
USA.gov.
You can apply for a student loan.
USA.gov.
Get energy saving tips for your home.
USA.gov.
So great you might just get carpal tunnel syndrome.
It's government made easy.
For the people, USA.gov. For the people, USA.gov.
Savings Man here with a story for you about two young spenders named Tommy and Sue. Their parents let them buy whatever they chose, like video games and designer clothes. As they grew older, they spent all their pay on fancy cars, houses, 2 lattes a day. They lived in the moment, never saving a dime. When they tried to retire, they'd run out of time. Working forever is Tom and Sue's fate, so choose to save now before it's too late. Visit our website to find out more, 'cause a happy ending's worth saving for.
Welcome back to Check It Out. And as you can see, Check It Out is on location today, and I'm actually at one of my favorite Bethel Park locations. I'm here with our very special guest. I have to say welcome to Bella. His real name is Belinda Howard, right?
Yes.
All right. And we are at Bella's lovely gift shop and tea room, Bella's House of Fine Teas.
Yes, yes.
And Bella came to the library in March and for our Make an Afternoon Tea Hat class, right?
Yes.
And we had a good time that day.
A lovely time.
We had a lot of fun. And I thought our viewers at home who could not join us at the library would like to meet Bella and meet Bella in person at her tea shop. So, first of all, Bella, I want to ask. I know this is sort of a mid-career change for you, right?
Yes.
Right. So, what did you do in your previous life?
I am a registered nurse, and I worked as an AIG nurse case manager in their workers' comp division. Okay. And I left there in July of last year to pursue this full time. Mm-hmm. And I'm here, and I love what I'm doing now. I'm still working with people because I get to meet people like Mary and the people in the neighborhood and people from all around. Very nice people I get to meet, so I'm very happy with what I'm doing. And I get to actually give them a little education, a tea education, and teach them about the health benefits of tea. And I get to help them enjoy the cup of tea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know tea is a very healthy drink, and it's been touted as being very healthy. What are some of the health benefits of drinking tea?
Some of the health benefits of drinking tea is first, well, let's talk about tea first. Can we do that?
We sure can.
Okay, so there's basically 4 different types of tea. Your teas are the black tea. It's white tea, green tea, oolong tea, and black tea. And tea becomes that specific tea on the process that it goes through after it's been picked. Mm-hmm. So white tea is actually like the first bud. Okay. And the first leaf of a tea, and it's not processed much at all. It's just dried, and so it doesn't go through an oxidation process. So therefore, it has the higher benefits as far as the antioxidants. And then there's the green tea, who goes through a small process, but they stop it. They heat it up so that it doesn't oxidize as much. Okay. So they stop the oxidation for the green tea, and so it also has higher antioxidants. I think the big thing with green tea is that as far as research is going on, they have actually found that the ECGC in the green tea, well, all teas, what it does is, as far as the scientific world is concerned, they say that tea has a wonderful contradicting effect on ones. What it does is it calms you, but also it enables you to think more clearly. Mm-hmm. So it has 2 versus like coffee is just like a stimulant. Okay. But tea actually calms you, but it stimulates you to use your thinking abilities at the same time. So that's one of the health benefits of tea. And then we want to talk about the oolong teas. Oolong tea just goes through a process a little longer than the green tea, so it's in between the black tea and the green tea, and it has the higher process. I mean, it also still has the antioxidants to the tea benefits. And then there's the black teas that actually has been, through the full process, it has been allowed to oxidize, so that's why it's a black tea. Now it still has the benefits as well. But now we can move on to 2 more teas. We have rooibos tea, which is our red tea. And that tea doesn't come from, now the first 4 teas we talked about comes from the tea bush plant. Mm-hmm. Rooibos actually comes from a bark of a bush in Africa. Okay. And so it's a red tea, and that's where it gets its name, rooibos. Mm-hmm. But now the thing about rooibos, it has higher antioxidants, but it also has vitamin C and iron, so it has other health benefits as well. And then we have our Tisane teas, which are all of our herbal teas, our mixed teas. My favorite, berry, and the lavender, the chamomiles. They all also have antioxidants, but they're high in vitamin C as well. But they're not really teas. Mm-hmm. So you have your 4 major teas, and then you have your Tisanes and your rooibos. Okay.
Well, the rooibos, which I have heard of, but I've never had. How would you describe the flavor?
Now it is flavored here in America. In the Western world, we have a tendency to drink it without milk. Mm-hmm. The red tea, I have a Bourbon Street vanilla. Here, I have 3 rooibos here.
Bourbon, I like the sound of that one. Bourbon Street
vanilla.
That sounds like fun.
Actually, I find rooibos it's a delightful tea. Mm-hmm. It's lightly flavored. It's very soothing, and it has a very smooth taste to it. Mm-hmm. That's how I would describe the rooibos. Versus your Tisanes, or the fruity teas, well, I make mine very, very strong. So everybody doesn't like their tea strong, but I do make mine very strong. And that's one of the things that we can discuss too, is the brewing of tea. When you make your tea, like your white teas and your green teas, they should never steep. I'm sorry, did I say brew?
You did say brew.
Oh, no. When you steep tea, the white teas and green teas should not be steeped more than 2 to 3 minutes. Black teas, the same, 3 minutes. But now your Tisans and your rooibos, they can actually steep a little bit longer. And so if you steep your herbal teas, the longer you steep, it steeps, the stronger the tea becomes. And the same with the rooibos as well.
Well, I guess I'm guilty of steeping my teas way too long, because I usually drink black tea at home, and I usually go about 4 or 5 minutes.
And that's fine for black tea. Yes.
All right?
But now your green teas, they have a tendency, if you steep them over 3 minutes, they have a tendency to get a little bitter taste. Now the thing about green tea, because it hasn't been through a process, it has a tendency to keep its natural the grassy taste of green tea. Yes, and that's why the tea comes out yellow. So if you steep it a little bit longer, it has a tendency to become just a little bit bitter, or tart, as one would say. But just people who like it that way, like you.
No, I'm not much of a green. I have to say, I don't drink green tea. I haven't embraced. I know that it's supposed to be very healthy for you, but I haven't quite caught onto it yet.
Well, now green tea comes in different flavors. There are some very strong green teas. Your oolong teas are very strong. They have a tendency to have it still have that grassy taste to me, but they have a tendency not to be flavored as much as the flavored green teas, which are like I have a cherry sencha, I have a strawberry Long Island back there, and it's very popular here. And the ladies love this. I am personally not a big green tea drinker myself, but I know that the flavors it alternates depending on what has been flavored with.
How many kinds of teas do you serve here?
I have over 40 teas here.
40 teas. 40 teas. What is the tea that is most requested from people that come and then come back again? Which tea is the most popular here?
Okay, my most popular tea here is the cream Earl Grey. It is also our house tea. It's a very wonderful tea. It's very smooth. Now the cream Earl Grey is the #1 selling tea in America. It is known as an English tea. It's a black tea, but the cream Earl Grey actually has vanilla overtones in it, so it gives it a nice creamy aftertaste. It changes the aroma of the Earl Grey. Earl Grey has a little bite to it, but the cream Earl Grey smooths it out and mellows it out. It's very smooth. It's wonderful. And it's my #1 selling tea.
Well, I understand, because that has been my favorite of the teas that I have had here, and that's the tea that I purchased here and I enjoy at home. And when I come to that time of the week, when it's been a rough day, I can look forward to the cream Earl Grey at home. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about your beautiful tea shop and tea room, because I think, I've directed people, given them directions because I go, I didn't know we had a tea room in Bethel Park. And when I tell them where it's located, they know where the building is.
Yes.
And they go, is that a tea room? I said, yes, it is. All you have to do is go inside. So you have transformed this building. So why don't you talk a little bit about the room we're in? And maybe you could talk a little bit about the wonderful ceiling, about the tiles on your ceiling.
My goal was, when you came into the building, is not to think of it as a commercial building, because it was a commercial real estate office for many years. And so people of the neighborhood actually knew. When you would ask them, they would say, well, where'd you put the kitchen? You'd say, where? And they'd say, oh, that was the conference room. Okay. So once I found that out, that they knew the building, because many had brought homes closed and sold homes and closed, I said, okay, I have to really take them away from that. So that's where we started at, was with the ceiling tiles. And we took them all down, we numbered them. We got permission from the owner, of course, and he was very kind and generous to say, sure. And so we took them all down and numbered them. My friend Lindsay did them. And she's a student, a graphics art design student. And so I knew I was going to use her to do some kind of painting. And so I called her and I said, Lindsay, I have the perfect job for you. She's a college student, so it was good money for her, you know what I mean? And so I think, she told me she was so nervous to do this because I gave her a teacup. And it's all based on the teacup pattern from this teacup here. Okay. And so I gave her this teacup, and I asked her to take the teacup home. I don't know if you can see that. And she took the teacup home, and she brought back 4 patterns, and we picked out this one because we thought it was more appropriate. And so we started the process of just taking them down and numbering them so that we could put them back in place, and this is what we came up with.
And a beautiful result. I wish everyone could be here with us to admire what they have done with the how you can transform the ordinary ceiling tile into something something beautiful.
And then the colors just came. They just came. There's 3 different colors on the wall. The decorations came. You know, everything just fell into place. Like I had all pictures at home in boxes and things like that. And my dear friend Juanita, who's actually everybody who got involved with this work here became part of the tea room. So Juanita was actually something, I had purchased a piece of furniture from her. She's an antique dealer, and she came to deliver the furniture. She saw the ceiling tile, and she ended up being one of my antique dealers in the first room. And she also still volunteers here from time to time as well. Mike, who helped me paint the walls, he actually gets laid off at a time, and so he's actually come and helped me work in the kitchen. So everybody who's had any part of the tea room has actually stayed and continued to be very active with the tea room, which is really great. And so the furniture, it took a little time, but I had this in my garage. I had six tables and 6 chairs in my garage. I'm very excited to have them out of my garage, and I can park now. And we just set it up. It was just easy. Once it was all painted, it was really easy just to find a spot for every piece of furniture that we had.
And how about the teapots and the lovely dishware and tableware? And as people hopefully will be able to see that every table is set up differently.
Yes.
Well, everything is beautiful though. And how did you acquire all of
this? Now this started over time because initially I was going to do tea parties in people's homes. My goal was to cater tea parties. And when you go to someone's home, you take everything with you. All the dishes, the silverware, the pots and pans, all your tableware goes with you. You even take the linen off the tables as well. You take everything. You transform their home into a tea room. So I started collecting with the idea that every home would be different, and I would have different colors, and everybody's home would have different curtains, and so you always wanted to make it match and make it beautiful. And so that's how this collection started. I became very partial to the creamers, the sugar and cream sets, so I started really collecting them. So I still have some down in the basement in boxes. But that's how, and so eventually I had them all lined up in my basement on shelves so that I wouldn't have multiples of the same type. And then once I took classes and I decided to do a tea room, then I knew that I was going to just put them on tables. And so I obviously had enough to which is really great. And it took time. And everywhere, people always ask, well, where did you go to collect such things? And really, I go everywhere. Whether it's an estate sale, an antique shop, I just like shopping like every other woman do. So it's been fun, though. This has been really fun.
I know I was here before Christmas with a friend, and we got into a conversation with you about some of the teapots. About the hall tea. We talked about the hall teapots.
Yes.
That and I know you. I don't know if this is.
That's not a hall.
That's not a hall. That I didn't think it was, because I remember we talked about the unique style that of the hall teapots.
And they are wonderful teapots. They're made here in America, and it's a stronger porcelain or ceramic pot, if you would say. This pot, this has tea in it, but the English teapots, which this is an English teapot, they're very beautiful, very delicate, and the hall teapots, when you lift them, they're just a little bit more sturdier, and they're durable, and I think they were way ahead of their time because they're beautiful. If you look back there, that's a hall teapot on that table there. I have hall throughout the house because it's probably my favorite teapot. I'm a hall girl too. And I love, like I said, I love the pretty teapots as well. Hall is not as elegant, but they were way ahead of their time as far as design is concerned.
I remember we talked about, because they have some very unique design for the era in which they were made. I was actually, I got on the website for them this morning, and they are still manufacturing teapots. And they said they had to make subtle. They are modeling them on the earlier designs, but because they're so collectible, they had to make some subtle changes, so not to confuse people that we're collecting the older
yes.
tall teapots. So.
Yes.
How did you get interested in tea in the first place?
You know, it's really interesting. I've been drinking tea for a very long time, since I was a little girl. I have a family relative who also has a tea room, and I volunteered there. And through time, I always thought, you know, when I was working at Workers' Comp, I thought about something to do that was very fulfilling, which is how I came to the idea of having tea parties in people's homes, because it would get me out and I would be able to communicate with people, which I'm very much a people's person. It's in my personality. I don't think I can change that. So then I started really looking into doing that, and I was going to take a class and go out to Illinois and study with a lady, and I brought all the material, but I couldn't get to Illinois because they were having bad winter storms, and we were having bad winter storms, so it never happened. Before I knew it was over a year. Here we are in the second year, and so I decided to take a Tea 101 master class. That was wonderful.
I didn't know you could take Tea 101. Where did you take Tea 101?
In Lexington, Kentucky, with Bruce and Shelley Richardson, and I really learned a lot, and they helped me appreciate the fact that if you really have the resources and if you have the dedication, that it would probably be better to open a tea room, because you wouldn't solicit your customers, they would come to you. And then if you have and I had already acquired a lot of things, tea wares and everything like that, so it's much easier to just do a tea room. And I was very fortunate. I do live here in Bethel Park, and I was fortunate enough to find a place in Bethel Park. And I literally live like 4 minutes from here, so it really worked out. The building, and I had looked at other places, but this building just happened to be perfect for everything that I had.
How long does it take you to take Tea 101? What's the length of the class?
It's just a 3-day course.
Just a 3-day course.
And then you are encouraged to learn something new about tea every day, which is the etiquette class comes with that, and you get certified in both. And you learn to share your knowledge and to gain knowledge every day. Learn something new about tea, because if you look at research, there's over 100,000 papers have been written on the study of tea. So therefore, there is something to learn every single day. So my knowledge continues to grow. Right now, I'm reading the Tea Companion, so I continue to read up on tea.
Well, I know you know a lot about tea. Let's talk a little bit about, I know you do, I mentioned the Make an Afternoon Tea hat class, which you do here,
yes,
right?
We do Make an Afternoon hat class, and we do here on location on Mondays. We also go out to other locations as well. Okay,
and then came to the library. And I also know you have an etiquette class. Yes. So I thought we'd talk, because I enjoy drinking tea, but in terms of the official tea etiquette, I am not very knowledgeable. So maybe we could talk a little bit about tea etiquette.
Okay. I think a lot of people have preconceived notions of what tea etiquette is. And so the reason why we offer a tea etiquette class, business class as well, for the business etiquette class, whether it's a lunch etiquette, is so that you can feel, or anyone can feel comfortable going to any such gathering, whether it's social, whether it's just for a business meeting, but you'd be comfortable in that environment, even if it was a buffet style. And so some of the basic etiquettes, people always come and say, well, do you put the pinky up or pinky down? Pinky's down. No pinky up. You don't take gloves. You don't wear gloves for tea. Gloves weren't meant to eat with. So even if a bride has gloves on, she should snap it and take them up and eat her meal and drink her tea. Basic tea etiquette. People don't, something basic is when you use a napkin in a tea room, you should always dispose of your gum before you come to the table, or ask for a napkin, a paper napkin. You should never leave gum on the table. And you should not come to the table with gum. You should never put your cell phone or any object on top of the table. If you have glasses, it's best to set them in your lap. If you have a purse, it's best to put it on the floor. So those are some basic etiquettes. Now, I thought that I would start my etiquette classes off here, which we're going out this week to do an etiquette class at another location. And it's an adult etiquette class, so they'll learn the basic etiquettes too. Some of the things that, when you come to a tea room, so there's tea room etiquettes as well. Even if you're having a party or if you're just coming for lunch, is that if you bring gifts, items, and packages or surprises for people, you should always ask is there a rubbish can nearby? Or it's polite to bring your own bag or ask for a bag to dispose of your trash there, and you can hand it to the server, but it's not polite to leave rubbish all over the tables or the floors. And so there's basic etiquette is very good for us. And then the class goes farther to teach you like your proper place settings, which this is not the proper place setting because we have like the soup spoon is here. And that's what we do here at Bella's house. Well, the soup spoon goes there and the dessert spoon goes there. So there's a lot of things that you can learn etiquette-wise. And like the hostess, if you were hosting a luncheon, then at the end of when you're done, you would put your napkin up on the table on your left. Other than that, you shouldn't put your napkin back on the table. If you're getting up to use the restroom, you should put your napkin on your chair, the arm of your chair or on your chair. But you shouldn't put your napkin back on the table until you're done. And it should always go to the left of your plate. So there's little...
Yeah, like I said, there's these little things. And we talked about, because I had my teacup, and we are drinking tea, I had my teacup on the left side, right? And you said... The teacup should be on the right side, right side of your, of your
unless you're left-handed, I suppose.
Okay, yeah, that otherwise could be.
So, but our goal with the etiquette classes is actually to make people comfortable in any social environment when they take a meal.
That's very, as you say, in the business world, that's very important. But I think also it's important just. You know, we've kind of lost those little things that people sometimes scoff at them, though that's not really important. But yet, I think when you practice those things, you're a little more mindful about what you're doing. You have an awareness of what is going on. You're paying attention. You stop. You slow down a little bit and pay attention to the little things, and it makes it, I think, a much more meaningful and enjoyable experience.
I think so.
And I know that's the way I've always felt when I've been here. I just slow down.
Yes.
It's like my heart rate automatically goes down for a while because you don't rush. I've noticed that. There's always this calmness about you, and you convey that to me, and I just stop and I slow down and I just savor and enjoy.
And see, and I think that's the benefit of drinking tea. That's one of the benefits that we take for granted. When we get a coffee on the go, we go. But when you have a cup of tea, you stop and you savor. From the first taste of tea, you savor that taste, but then all of a sudden you start savoring the time around you and the company with you. You become very relaxed. When you're here in a tea room and you're with other people or companions, you totally forget where you're at. For the time that you're here. Whether it's the soft music, the conversation flows, it's upbuilding and very positive. It's just not the same when you're drinking tea. You're just totally at ease. And so I think that's a wonderful benefit of drinking tea.
I do too.
I think that drinking tea puts us, someone asked me once before, why don't you dress in the time period? And our tea room is vintage, but it's also Victorian. So we have a mixed tea room. And I thought about that, and I told her, I said, you know, I think that this is what we need today. We need to take the time out to drink tea today, to make it a lifestyle, because drinking tea is a lifestyle, and it calms us. So even though that's what they did back in the day, this is what we need in our lives today. We need to stop and take it easy for a moment, and we need to enjoy the moment. And that's what tea helps you do.
I want you to talk a little bit about when people come here, what I know you have lunch, you have high tea, so why don't you talk about Bella's, talk about the tea room.
So when you come to Bella's, what you have here, we welcome you, of course. We do have a cream tea in the morning. Cream tea is a couple scones and a pot of tea, and a lot of ladies come just to do that in the morning. And then we have a walk-in lunch from 11 to 2, Tuesday through Saturday, and 12 to 2 on Sundays. And when you come, that lunch includes a soup, a salad, and a sandwich, and a dessert. The menu,
lots of tea.
And unlimited tea.
Unlimited tea.
And we do serve coffee to those who accompany the tea lovers, of course. And you come, and it's like you said, the meal, it's not a rush meal, so it's a place where you can still come and take your time and have lunch. There's people who come here on the lunch hour as well.
We do. I don't recommend that. I'll tell you why. Because you'll be you'll be looking at your watch going, I have to get back, and you won't want to go back.
Isn't that the truth? And then we serve an elegant afternoon tea. And it gets mixed up with high tea, but here in America, we have a tendency to refer to it as high tea.
But it's not really high tea.
No,
Not English high tea, is it?
No, it's an elegant afternoon tea, and it's a full afternoon tea. So you start off, you'll have a soup course, and then you'll have a scone course with your cream and your jam, and then you follow up with your 4 different tea savories or sandwiches, and then you finish up with 4 different desserts, and you get unlimited tea of choice, so it's a wonderful time. Now, a high tea is actually a later meal, between 4 and 7, and it's more like a full meal, and we really don't serve that one. What we do serve our elegant afternoon tea with reservations, and we make it up until 5 p.m. People can come in. With reservations. So it's a very nice time. We also make scones. So we have fresh scones, and they're always here. You can order them in advance, or you can just come in and buy scones and biscotti. So we have a little bit of everything here. And then we have a wonderful gift shop as well, and we have a antique collection here. We have 3 different antique dealers in the building. We're really happy to say that they have a nice assortment of collectibles and antiques that people can come and browse and purchase if they chose to.
And if you don't have a pretty teacup, like I didn't have a pretty teacup, I've been drinking my tea out of a mug. I came to Bella's and I bought a beautiful teacup. So now when I go to tea, I have a lovely teacup to use. I understand you also will. The tea room can be reserved if somebody wants to have a party or a bridal shower?
Wedding showers, bridal showers, wedding showers, baby showers is what I want to say. We have some event coming up this week. The South Hills Chambers of Commerce is actually having their Cinco de Mayo party here. So that's going to be an evening event. So we are available for evening events, and that's obviously well planned, so it's with reservations. And we're actually going to do something different there. So we won't be using our china.
I was going to say, I'm picturing Cinco de Mayo in the tea room.
Well, no, we won't use the china, but we'll use our centerpieces, our teapots and things like that. So it's a business meeting. It's a networking meeting, so it'll be great. It's a great environment for someone to come in, just to be in the environment. And so we've had lots of bridal showers and lots of baby showers, parties. We've had lots of parties, private parties as well. We do recommend that if anybody wants to have a party, that they have it Saturday about 2. Saturday or Sunday at 2 is like the best time because lunch is over. Yes. So.
Why don't you talk a little bit about, we talked about the royal wedding, and just share some of your experiences of the day here at the tea room.
Yes, the royal wedding was a great occasion for us. We had people come in. We had a group come in, men and women. Men wearing suits without the ties, but they wore nice suit jackets. The women dressed up. I had one lady, Mary Alice. She wore her jacket that was originally from her wedding gown. And she looked so beautiful. She wore the headpiece without the veil. The women all came with their hats on. It was just a wonderful occasion, and they had a wonderful time. Took lots of pictures, and once again, nobody wanted to go home.
I can understand that.
A lot of people actually had ordered scones for the royal wedding, so they came in like the night before to pick up scones as well. So I know you had a royal wedding there. At the library.
We had a royal wedding tea at the library, and everybody wore their hats that they had made at your tea hat class. So we had a very special day at the library too.
Yes.
So Bella, I want to thank you for being my guest today.
Oh, thank you.
Check it out, and don't wait for a special occasion to come to Bella's, because actually, when you get to Bella's, it's a special occasion already. So,
yes.
And why don't you give us a location? That's an important thing. Where are we?
You can find us at 2822 South Park Road, right in the heart of Bethel Park. We have a yellow building, and there's a sign in front and a sign in back. And hopefully maybe we'll put a teapot out on the South Park Road. And we do have parking in front as well. So please come to Bella's. We welcome you here to have a cup of tea with me.
All right,
Thanks.
you. All righty. Thank you, Bella.
Yes.
And we will see you next month on Check It Out.
I am Joan Rivers with an important announcement. Getting old is horrible, okay? Horrible.
You're not old. I mean, you're older, but you're not old.
You want to see old?
Oh, God.
Yes, grow up, for goodness sakes. The last man to hit on me was an undertaker. I know where
I don't want to talk about
this,
Well,
you're going to have to talk about it. It's the future. It's coming right at us. And I'm not worried about dying. It's getting there. I mean, heaven is going to be fabulous. It's going to be a giant shopping mall, and there's going to be 20% off on everything, except for me, 44.
You know, you're doing jokes, and I'm just not ready.
Well, you have to be ready. You have to listen to me. Look, there are things to discuss. They're going to be my needs. They're going to be my wants.
You know, Mom, I don't want to hear this. I just don't want to hear this. La, la, la,
Don't give me la, 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 la.
I don't. I can't. I can't do
Talk
this.
to your family about aging, even if they're not ready to listen. Come on, listen to me. Listen to me.
For the first time?
Yes, for the first time.
No matter who you are, it's not easy talking about aging. For help, go to voa.org/talk. A message from Volunteers of America.
And now, another adventure with Savings Man.
Look, honey, the neighbors just bought a big screen TV.
Hey, I just got a bonus at work. Maybe we should get one too.
Hold on there.
Savings Man.
Using your bonus to secure your future by paying down debt or saving is a better way to go.
Well, I declare you're right, Savings Man.
Stay ahead by choosing to save. And don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses.
But their name is Johnson.
For more tips and tools, visit choosetosave.org today.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We pledge ourselves to our veterans, our youth, a strong national defense, and Americanism. These four pillars shape our work and what we do for America. We work relentlessly within our four pillars of service, and we succeed. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. We support and promote citizenship and integrity in America's future leaders. We know what policies, tools, and manpower our military needs to protect this great country. We fight to get these things done. We're patriots through and through. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. Go to Legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
What are you doing, dear?
My finances. Every week I divide my allowance. Some to spend, some to charity. But the first thing I do is set aside 10% to save for my future.
That's awfully grown up. Did you learn that in school?
No, Dad taught me. He said if you want something tomorrow, you have to save today. Dad's saving for retirement. I'm saving for a new bike.
Choose to save. To learn how to get started, get your free Power to Choose brochure.
He's a smart man, your father.